evening, everybody. It is August 17th. Wow, 2023. Welcome back to another edition of the Let's Talk Live podcast. This is episode 58, and I want to welcome everybody coming into the room. Late night show here. We had some breaking news. I'm sure you all heard about it today. I am just getting caught up, but I could not get on top of this. I actually did a Racheal Morin video yesterday. If you haven't checked that out, it's about a 3-minute video to get you caught up with the case. But obviously, there has been some breaking news in this story today. So let's pull up the first article here and get right into it. I don't want to waste too much time. Okay. As we go up here, it looks like cops release video of Racheal Morin's suspected killer 2 weeks after Maryland mom of 5 was murdered on hiking trail. So the New York Post reports Maryland police have video and DNA evidence, but have not yet identified the man they believe murdered Racheal Morin, whose body was found naked and severely beaten after she went missing during a run on a trail near her home. My first initial thoughts when I saw this was I was happy, and we can't rule him out as a suspect yet, but I'm probably pretty sure they have the guy. But I'm so happy that the boyfriend in this, and I believe from what I can remember, I think his name was Robert, and I could be wrong there. The boyfriend in this is not the prime suspect. And it's good to hear that. It's good to hear that, because in a lot of these cases, you see that particular situation happen. So they're thinking this is an unrelated person, a person of interest that they're looking for right now. There's something odd that I found about the video that they released, and we're going to play through that video, and maybe you all can see it, or maybe you all have seen it already. Thank you, Richard. Thank you. I've had a very long day at work. I was up at 6, and I literally just got off work about a half an hour ago. So I had to fly home, try to put some material together, and kind of jump on this stream and do it. Thank you, Sharon, for letting me know. I apologize. I thought it was Robert. So authorities said the DNA sample analyzed by Maryland State Police matched with DNA found at the scene of the home invasion and assault of a young girl in Los Angeles in March. Colonel William Davis of Hartford County Sheriff's Office told reporters at a press conference on Thursday. Unfortunately, the suspect has not been identified, but he did leave behind his DNA, Davis said. Based on the DNA evidence, we consider the individual in this video we obtained from the Los Angeles Police Department to be the person that murdered Racheal Morin. Police released video of a shirtless suspect described as a Hispanic male, about 5'9" and 160 pounds, as he closes a front door and walks down the steps of the Los Angeles home he's suspected of robbing. Now, when I saw this video today, I saw something very odd about it. And we're going to watch that video, and maybe you all have seen it. Maybe you saw it for yourselves, because I know that you're all very smart detectives and sleuths. But I saw something that was pretty alarming in this video. And I want to read this headline again, or this piece of this article. Police released video of a shirtless suspect described as a Hispanic male, about 5'9", 160 pounds, as he closes the front door and walks down the steps of the Los Angeles home he's suspected of robbing. Yes, Creepy Crystal has figured it out. And this is what I'm talking about. It's very strange when the doors close. It looks like a girl is closing the door for him. Bingo! That's what I saw. And Crystal picked it up too. And speculation picked it up as well. I think it's very strange that they said this is the house that he was suspected of robbing. So we'll look at that video again. I'm sure you've all heard about it. Again, I am behind because I do work a normal day job. But if I can get out here and do my interpretation of what's going on, that's why I love having all of you here supporting me. Yes, a person closes a door. And to me, when I looked at it, it looked like female hands. And Roseanne says that she saw it as well. Yes. And Crystal says she's very good at getting this. But we're going to watch through that. Carrie, I appreciate you. And by the way, Carrie, tomorrow I will be sending out your gift card. I promise. I have a note on my desk. Look at this. I don't know if you can see it. Send Carrie H gift card. I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of weird because my light is right there. I don't know. Send Carrie H gift card. So I have my note right there. I promise I'll get it out to you tomorrow. And I hope that you're feeling better because I know that you haven't been feeling well. Okay, so I wanted to touch on that article a little bit first. And what we're going to do now is there was a, excuse me, a day ago, Court TV put out kind of an information special of as to what was going on. I want to play through that a little bit, and then we'll go to the press conference, and then I want to go to the actual Facebook website, the Facebook website of the Harford County Sheriff's Office, where they have that video where it's kind of on loop and we can play it. I just saw something come up here in the chat. Miss Mouthy says, sorry to be off topic, but I have a big surgery tomorrow. Keep me in your thoughts, guys. Absolutely. We're going to keep you in our thoughts. Absolutely 100%. I hope you're well. I hope you recover well. And thanks for hanging out with us this evening. So let's play through a little bit of this Court TV segment to kind of get caught up as to what was going on. This was during closing arguments on Court TV. And we're going to play through this and get a little bit caught up on this case. And then we will play through that press conference and see what everybody thinks on that too. Thank you all for joining me this late. I'm going to be honest with you. Probably my streams going forward will probably be around the 10 p.m. Time slot. I'm kind of just working out the details, but I think this is going to be a better time for me to run. And I don't mind doing late streams, even if I have to do 11 o'clock at night. It's all going to dictate to who is awake and watching these streams. All right, let's play through this.
37-year-old mother of 5, Racheal Morin, went for a jog in Bel Air, Maryland on August 5th, but never returned home. She was reported missing that night. The following day, her remains were discovered under horrific circumstances. Law enforcement officials are staying tight-lipped on the details surrounding Racheal's death, but the case has been deemed of...
Brooklyn makes up a good point here, and I do tend to agree in this situation. I think the woman in the video knew her attacker. A lot of the women know their rapist prior to being sexually assaulted. She might have been promised not to. She might have been promised not to say anything. I think that's why the first victim is still alive. Absolutely, absolutely. I do tend to agree with that. Great. We're seeing a lot of new names here. I see Kim. I haven't seen you in the chat before, but Kim says, hit the like on your way in, please. Thank you, Kim. I appreciate you. And welcome to the chat. It's nice to see you over here. Again, Michelle, I think, is a new name that I haven't seen here as before, too. So thank you for subscribing and joining this evening. All right, let's keep playing.
Violent homicide. And while no suspects have been identified, authorities are interviewing those closest to Racheal. Tonight, what we know about Racheal Morin and the mystery of what happened to her on that trail.
Lunchtime in
Good
Australia.
Evening to you and welcome to Closing Arguments. I'm Julie Grant, in tonight for Vinnie Politan. We begin this evening in Maryland, where a missing person case is now a homicide investigation. We're talking about 37-year-old mother of 5, Racheal Morin. She was last seen alive on August 5th. Her body was discovered the next day. Right now, we have more questions than we do answers as to what happened to Racheal. Let's begin, though, with the newest developments. Jeff Hagar with Scripps affiliate WMAR reports.
Images of Racheal Morin, the murdered mother of 5, now mark the Ma and Pa Trail. The Harford County Sheriff's Office has been inundated with questions surrounding her death, prompting the sheriff to take to social media.
One question we have continued to get centers around whether we have interviewed the boyfriend in this case. The answer is yes, we have, along with many other people who are close to Racheal.
A modern day.
Again, I'm going to say I truly believe, and I'm so glad right now that, essentially right now in this case, it assumes that the boyfriend is clear. Like I said, in most of these cases, these particular situations, it's usually someone that's very close to the person that was murdered. So it's nice to see that as of right now, in this very moment, the boyfriend is clear of any wrongdoing. So it looks like they do have a solid suspect. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think this guy is going to last very long out there. Someone will know who this is, and you're going to probably see this person being turned in the next 24 to 48 hours. It's usually how these things go, unless particularly he gets down south of the border or north of the border. It's going to be a little bit tougher getting up. But if they escape off to the south of the border, through Texas or Arizona, something like that. But it all remains to be seen. So I'm so glad, though, that right now it seems like the boyfriend is clear.
Who done it? This case almost immediately attracted the attention of the national media, as well as from outlets from abroad.
May very well be.
Well, the sheriff's office has 78,000 followers on Facebook. Posts about Racheal's murder have reached 2 million people. The public, hungry for answers, is gobbling up coverage of virtually anyone claiming to have information about the case.
Basically, when we walked up, we saw fresh blood. And my daughter's boyfriend thought it was deer blood at first.
Police say they're frustrated by such people seeking the spotlight.
Obviously, there are people out there who are coming up with putting out information in the public that they have no firsthand knowledge of, talking about the crime scene that they have no firsthand knowledge of.
Investigators are also concerned about the integrity of the case.
Yeah, me neither.
Details only known to the killer become public.
We were just talking about that before you got into the chat room. I'm sure you all figured out, because you're all smart. But when you see that door close, you see a woman's, hand closing the door. So we'll watch through that video here in a minute. But I just wanted to play a little bit of this just to get us kind of caught up. You know me. I always like to go back first.
Not to mention the impact it could have on Racheal's family.
All the false information that's going on out there, hearing about possible injuries to her and how this crime occurred, which aren't true, has got to make it harder on them. And so people need to think about that when they're out there spreading that kind of information.
In Harford County, Jeff Hager.
But the biggest thing right now is tracing when they, if they catch the suspect here, is tracing the steps as to get, to find out how he got to this point. If that suspect is from California, how did he get out from California to Maryland and get into this particular situation here, where these two people, came together in some way, form, or fashion? Is this something that, was she looking on dating sites? Was she talking to anybody else? I'm sure all of that information will be divulged soon. I don't know if you guys have heard anything like that, and ladies in the chat, but this could be a particular situation where she was on some dating apps, meeting people, friends apps, something like that. I don't know. I haven't heard any of that, but it could be a potential link, or it was just she was in the wrong place at the wrong time. This guy, might have just been in and around this area, hiding from something, and just remains to be seen. So,
WMAR 2 News.
I want to bring in my guest and talk some more about this case. Joining us this evening from Baltimore, Maryland, WMAR anchor Kelly Swoop is with us. And retired NYPD Sergeant, the former director of the NYPD Homicide School, and the author of 2 books, The Criminal Investigative Function and The Cold Case Handbook, Joseph Giacalone is with us as well. Joseph and Kelly, thank you so much for being on the show tonight. Let's just start with where things are.
Yeah, it could be like something like that. The only thing that would maybe be is if she maybe had a, like a crossbody bag with her while she was running, or a fanny pack. That would assume, someone that was going to rob you would think maybe money or a wallet would be in there. If there's nothing like that, I definitely would probably think this is an SA attack. Again, but we don't know, but those details will probably soon be released.
Or this evening, the sentiment there in Maryland, in this area, everybody on edge, understandably so. Kelly, let me go to you for that, please. What are you hearing? What are people there saying tonight, please?
Julie, a lot of people concerned about their safety. This is a very, very popular park, the Mon Trail, in a very suburban area, about 35 miles outside of Baltimore. Not a lot of crime in this Harford County community. So police basically stepped up their efforts to ensure people that they were safe, but still a lot of questions about what happened to this mom who was actually just there going for a run or a walk and reported missing. And the next day her body was found. And there've been a couple of memorials and things organized to show support for her and her family. I know the family has an event coming up on Saturday, but just a lot of people want to know whether or not this was an isolated event, or she was targeted. It's just scary for a lot of folks in Harford County right now.
Absolutely it is, Kelly, and understandably so. Joseph, let me go to you, please. Kind of help us pull back the curtain. What are investigators doing right now, tonight, please?
Well, one of the things that we have to look at is cell phone records, internet records. Of course, those things play a role in this. See if they can maybe triangulate cell phone data within where the victim was attacked and see who was in the area at the time. You know, as you watch the news releases, they see, you know, it's not very populated per se in regards to large sections of the trail. However, there are a lot of developments within that. And one of the things that I would be focusing in on now, and I'm sure the police are too, is if somebody is going to pull off something like this, they have to plan out an escape route. And if you look at the trail, we know that she entered or she parked her car by the William Street entrance of the trail. And if you look a little further, about a quarter of a mile where they said that she was attacked, there's a cul-de-sac there. There's also an area that could be, you know, real close, another parking area. So, for instance, if you're going to flee, let's say you use that cul-de-sac, there might be video surveillance too. So cell phone records, internet records, and video surveillance, I refer to them as the forensic horsemen. And those things are the things that move forward these cases. And I think that's where investigators are looking into right now.
Joseph, thank you for that. During a press conference, the Harford County Sheriff Jeff Gaylor laid out the details of when Racheal Morin was reported missing, where her car was eventually located. Let's take a listen.
It was reported by the individual's boyfriend that Racheal Morin.
Now, again, this is yesterday, or, you know, following up to the case is kind of like a montage. So, you know, we'll get to that press conference here in a minute.
Who's age 37, it headed out from her home on Old Emerton Road around 6 p.m. to go to the Mom Pa Trail. Once she had not returned as and when expected, the family was obviously concerned. Initial information from the boyfriend, again, the caller who reported her missing, indicated her car was at the lot at the trailhead here on William Street, behind like where Independent Brewery is. The people that are familiar with Bel Air, the car was there, but she was not.
The Mon Pa Trail website has this map of the Bel Air section of the trail, and the website says that the trail winds through wooded, moderately sloped sections through a tunnel underneath Route 24 and alongside North Tollgate Road to its northern point. Now, Racheal's car was located at what's referred to as the William Street entrance near several businesses. As Joe was just noting, this includes the brewery that the sheriff also mentioned at the press conference as well. Kelly Swoop, I want to go back to you, please. Something that kind of puzzles me is that we hear about this trail being so popular, and we know that people were on it that day, not just Racheal Morin, but I'm curious how this could happen with nobody being around to hear screaming or to possibly stop it. Could you kind of shed some light on that, please?
Well, you know, the sheriff has been asked, you know, have there been witnesses? Who have you talked to? Where's the information coming in for? And he's made it very, very clear that there were witnesses in the area. What they saw, what they heard, unclear to us at this point because they're being very tight-lipped about their investigation. But he said that they've interviewed witnesses as well as interviewing the boyfriend. So police, as an investigator said, are being very tight-lipped about the information, but there are things going on behind the scenes in terms of what happened, you know, like tracking the phone records, you know, trying to find out who was in the area. At one point, they were asking people to come forward if they had seen or heard anything. But I think they're kind of dotting all their I's and crossing all their T's to make sure that if they suspect someone, they are building their case with credible information to bring that person in.
Exactly, Kelly. Joseph, let me go back to you, please. We know that law enforcement has publicly stated that they're not sure if this was a targeted attack on Racheal Morin or if Racheal Morin just happened to be a random victim of a very violent crime. What are the things that might be indicators of one or the other to law enforcement, please?
Well, just to start off first, the police will rarely give out clues of what they know, right? So they always keep things really close to the vest because they don't want to let certain things leak out into the public, because you have people that will inject themselves into the investigation, which then causes more of a problem. However, so some of the things that the police department would look at a scene like this, and to say the manner in which this person was killed, if there was any weapons used, if that weapon was found at the scene or was it brought to the scene, different things such as blood spatter, if there was a vicious attack in that kind of respect. And of course, the most important aspect from an investigative standpoint, as far as I'm concerned, is was the victim sexually assaulted or was it staged to look like a sexual assault? And that's something that the medical examiner will help out with, and also to the forensics experts that have probably combed the scene very carefully, including her clothing and everything else that in and around that area of that crime scene.
I appreciate it, Joseph. Kelly, let me go back to you, please. In terms of these details that we all want to know, and investigators are being tight-lipped on, rightfully so, as they should, because solving this crime is really what's most important. Have you heard anything else tonight? I just want to make sure, because you and your colleagues have done a tremendous job covering this case on the ground there. Any details at all coming out about what type of weapon might have been used, or whether a weapon might have been recovered, or any indication of sex assault like Joseph was wondering about?
They were very, very tight-lipped about that. We did have a witness that pretty much everybody in town interviewed. The interview that was in Jeff Hager's story, a man who claimed that he and...
Let's stop this for a second. Here's something that I just picked up, and I'm not sure if you all know this, but I just saw this, and this is what I was talking about. So the New York Post is reporting Maryland mom Racheal Morin was on multiple dating sites before grisly murder as new details emerge of her final hours. The mother of 5, who was a victim of a grisly murder on a hiking trail in Maryland last week, was using multiple dating apps prior to her disappearance, a source told the Post. On the afternoon of her death, Racheal Morin, 37, stopped at Glow, a bronzing studio on Red Pump Road in Bel Air, for her daily spray tan at 2 p.m. A source close to the salon told the Post all employees there knew her, and the late mother had revealed to staff she was on multiple dating sites prior to her death. However, that same week, she had gone public with her romance with Richard Tobin, who was one of the last people to see her alive. Tobin, or Tubin, who has not been named as a suspect and helped raise the alarm about his girlfriend's disappearance, had met up with her late that afternoon. After touching up on her tan, Morin told salon workers she was heading off to the gym. Tobin confirmed in a now deleted Facebook comment they went to the gym together. The Post had since discovered the couple went to Planet Fitness, where Morin is a black card holder who can use any of the company's facilities. Tobin's home gym is a Rock Spring Road location, which is located around the corner from the tanning salon, but employees were unable to confirm if Morin had visited on Saturday, August 5th, the same day she went missing, which is strange because I go to Planet Fitness myself and you have to scan in. So maybe she just didn't scan in that day, or maybe they're just not really tight about scanning in. An employee told the Post that Morin mainly uses the Abington location, which is about 8 miles up the road off Bel Air bypass, where conducted staff there refer to the Post company's corporate team, who declined comment. Tobin, who since been made his social media pages private, also revealed in a now deleted comment he dropped her off at home shortly before 5 p.m. Morin then went to a hiking trail and was last spotted sometime between the hours of 6 and 7:30 p.m. The stepfather of the girl who discovered Morin's remains claimed that she was naked and looked like her head had been smashed with a rock, according to Michael Gabrielski, who spoke with the Daily Mail. The Harford County Sheriff's Office had announced they are looking for 5 witnesses who were on the trail during those hours and asked them to contact their offices. They were looking for witnesses that described as either being 3 men, 2 women, and 2 dogs, or 2 men, 3 women, and 2 dogs. After touching up, Tobin said on a Facebook that it's been missing since 7. So, I mean, we pretty much know this, but I thought this to be pretty interesting. multiple dating sites prior to her death. So, I mean, that's what I'm saying. This could have been someone that she met off a dating site, and he wasn't, uh, in and around that area, traveled into the area, and maybe he, there's some connection or there's some conversations that they had. Again, we don't know yet, but we definitely will find out. All right, let's play a little bit more of this, and then I'm going to go to the actual press conference today that broke the news and that they have a potential suspect in Racheal Morin's death.
And his daughter or his daughter's boyfriend were there, that they saw the body, that it was very, very bloodied. And people were very, very upset when those details kind of came out into the light. That's when the sheriff actually held the social media briefing to say that, hey, people putting information out there that we don't know if it's true or not is hurtful to the family. It can hinder their investigation. So as far as if that individual was correct, we don't really know at all. So police, again, not wanting to jeopardize their case, not really letting us know a lot about if there was a weapon. I just did hear the chief say that it was a very, very brutal, horrible crime. And beyond that, he won't give us much more information.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, Kelly. Joseph, back to you. In terms of what can be learned and who it can be learned from, we know investigators are saying that they're talking to the people closest to Racheal Morin, the people who knew her best, and then, of course, those witnesses, as Kelly mentioned. Where else might they be looking? I'm wondering, might they be looking on social media to see if anybody is talking about this? Could there be clues there?
Well, most certainly, right? So you always, as an investigation, you always start with the victim's closest relatives and families and husbands and wives and everything else. Because why? We are victimized by someone we know most of the time. So investigators always key in upon specifics. So instance, you have a situation where you have a boyfriend, so automatically they are one of the first people that the police are interested in these cases. Like I said, why? Because most time we are victimized by this person. So investigators will start, and think about it as like a ripple. You throw a rock in the water, you start off real small, and then it actually comes out a little further on down the line. They're going to speak to everyone they can. And yes, I believe social media can play an important role in this, including internet records, text messages, you name it. Because, and not just from the victim's standpoint, but also from possible suspects too. Right. Because as we've seen in the past in several other cases, people have given themselves up by saying things and doing things on the internet and using text messages that they're not really either aware of at the time, right, or they regret it much later on during the investigation.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, Joseph. We know that Racheal Morin is leaving behind 5 children, which just makes this even more heartbreaking. And people in the community, as soon as they heard a mom is missing, rallied together. We're trying to help. Kelly, in terms of who might have been out there, was it a big showing of support from the community trying to find her at the point when she was still missing and her body hadn't been discovered?
Julie, it was over the weekend, and some people did come out, and then she was found the next day. Since then, there's been a large showing of people in the community trying to rally around the family. There was one memorial that happened, I think, last week or week before last, but that was not sanctioned by the family. That was actually from a lawmaker who wanted to basically let people in the community know that it's going to be okay. We're going to increase security. Everybody's going to be okay. Now the family is actually rallying around to support those 5 young children. They will be having a memorial walk this weekend, and there is a GoFundMe account set up to help that family. Because, like I said, again, this Bel Air community, it is a tight-knit community. And for something so horrible and heinous to happen anywhere is awful, but this is something that you don't necessarily expect to hear about from Bel Air.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Well, so a very safe area, huh, Kelly? Very safe area,
typically,
very family-oriented.
Yeah.
So this is just pretty stunning. Bel Air is not the place you would expect something like this to happen, huh?
No, definitely not at all. I think that's probably part of the reason why it's blown up so much on social media, as you were mentioning, that the fact that Sheriff Gaylor went to social media just to kind of ease people's fears. This is just, and like I said, the trail is a very, very popular trail that a lot of people walk on, families, children. So this is not a place that you would expect to see something like this occur.
Right, Kelly. And I understand that walk that you were mentioning that's going to happen this weekend is going to actually be held on the trail. Is that correct?
Yes, at 11 o'clock, 11:30 Saturday morning, they're all going to wear T-shirts. And again,
Thank
they
you,
want to
Danielle. I
do this
appreciate
to
you.
honor Racheal's
Thank you so
memory,
much.
to also raise money for the family. And like I said, it's just been really, really tough for that area, and obviously family and people who knew Racheal, because from the post on social media, it would indicate that she was very, very popular, well-loved, and well-liked.
Oh, that makes it even more devastating. Kelly, thank you for all of that. Joseph, in terms of what questions you might have tonight, I'm so curious, as someone who's done many, many homicide investigations, you've written books on how to do it.
I like this guy, Joseph. I think his last name is Jackalone. He's really good.
What questions are at the top of your mind this evening, please?
Well, the first one that jumps
Ali,
off the
thank you so
page
much.
is,
Appreciate
were
you.
there any complaints about anybody on the trail, or was anybody harassed, or was anybody attacked,
Thank you, buddy.
or followed around, or anybody that looked odd or out of place? So that would be my first thing I would be looking at. So, for instance, just from
Ali, by the way, I wanted to let you know something. Oh shit, I don't think you were there. You had just left the panel. But if you talk to JJ, and when you talk to JJ, the question that I asked Paul Thorpe today wasn't supposed to be a meatball question. It was supposed to be a little bit more detailed. But if I would have put it as much detail as I wanted in the question, it would have literally been a $500 super chat. Listen, I love JJ, but for $500 to ask Paul Thorpe a question probably wasn't going to go down. So what I basically was trying to ask was, in the past, I'm trying to get this out right. In the past, it really seemed that Paul did a lot of covering for Anthony. Now, what I wanted to try to find out was it his intention because he genuinely liked Anthony, or was it to protect the business? And I was trying to get that out, and it ended up just the way that it turned into. So, all right. Yeah, I mean, next time, if you want to ask Paul that, because I know that he was been very, I wouldn't say protective, but in the situations where Anthony fucked up, he stuck up for him a lot. And was it because he personally liked him, or was it to protect the business? And that's what I really wanted to ask. But next time around, he says, I can answer that quite specifically if you need, but but not to disrupt your show. We'll touch base on it, because I would love to hear that. All right, let's get back to,
an investigative standpoint, when you have situations like this, you always go to what we refer to as a complaint report or an investigative report, and we would then go through all of those instances to see if there is something there that maybe gave a description, maybe that what this person not only looked like, but if they drove a car and the like. So that's just something, I think that's just investigative 101 that you would find.
No.
And I believe that the police were probably on top of that right away.
25,
and I also
50, yeah,
like the fact that both the police chief and I think was the colonel there too, they came out and pretty much emphatically, saying that,
I think
try not to listen to certain people, because he was even saying that the investigators were saying that this person was not even at the crime scene. So we have to be really careful about that kind of material that gets released on there. And it could hurt your investigation in regards to the tip line, where you're getting just inundated with things. We've seen this now over and over again in the last couple of major investigations. The true crime community, it can do a lot of good, but there are some within it that can also bog down an investigation, and we saw that. So, the one thing I like to see, I'm not sure, I might have missed it, but maybe a Crime Stoppers reward or some other type of, investigative clues out there to get people to come forward with something. Has anybody, looked like there was injuries? Because, this woman seemed to be in pretty good shape. She's out jogging on a trail, so the likelihood is fighting back. Maybe she scratched the assailant, right? So we might have fingernails. There's a whole bunch of things that we don't know, but I think there are things that the investigators have and that we won't know until they, make an arrest. And I believe, listen, I have confidence that they are, because
into that, I promise.
When you're seeing that 10 people are on this, you're seeing that the chief and everybody, they're using social media. They're actually going out there and engaging people. But I think that they are zoning in on a particular person by now.
All right, so that was a little bit of a montage from yesterday, and then obviously today we had the breaking news, the news conference. Unfortunately, I could not do it live. It was at work today. If I was at home, I would have done it. I would do it live. But let's pull up that press conference today. So they do have a suspect now in Racheal Morin's murder case. We're going to play through that live coverage, live interview from
We are
Hartford
pausing our
Sheriff.
coverage of the widower murder retrial to quickly turn to the death of Racheal Morin. Morin is the mother of 5 whose body was found on a popular trail in Maryland earlier this month. The Harford County Sheriff's Office is holding a press conference to release new details, including information about a potential suspect. So let's go there live now.
Everyone, good evening. I just want to apologize for the rescheduling. We had a lead come in at 3 o'clock that we needed to run down before we did this press conference. As of right now, that lead hasn't panned out for us, but we're still out there investigating. So that's why we had to postpone this press conference. So first off, I just want to start off by saying thank you for coming out tonight.
And I'm sorry, I hate to stop the video, but I think when I look at cases like these and it's, you know, things that seem so random and we only get so much information that's put out there, you know, my initial thought is, and this is, I think the whole thing with Idaho as well, that I want to find out is what was that initial connection? You know, that's because it just seems like, you know, in this case, 2 random people right now, you know, one guy crossed her path, she crossed his, they were in the wrong place at the, you know, at the wrong time. And there was that. And then it's like, we know our suspect, Brian Koberg, in the Idaho case, you know, we all sit here and we can speculate and we know certain things about the case so far, but we still don't really concrete, you know, in concrete know what was that initial connection. Now, again, we can speculate. We've seen the legal documents, but that's where I get very, very curious. Like, how did this all happen? How did this all start? And that's what, you know, that's what always, you know, gets me very into and attracted to kind of sleuth down these cases and try to figure out what initially happened. But let's play through here. I apologize that I interviewed it. Apologize that I stopped it, but we'll continue the press conference here.
I'm Colonel William Davis, Chief Deputy of the Harford County Sheriff's Office. I know this briefing comes in late in the day, but last night we received critical pieces of information and our detectives have been working throughout the night and today, running down our new leads. Once the new evidence came to light, Sheriff Gaylor was adamant that we needed to inform our community as soon as possible.
100%, Michelle.
And that's why we're here tonight.
Excuse me.
As you know, since Saturday, August 5th, 12 days ago, the Harford County Sheriff's Office has been working around the clock to get justice for Racheal Morin and hopefully bring peace to her family. Since that first day, over 300 community tips have flooded our inboxes and emails. Her death has grabbed local, state, national, and international headlines, everyone with the same goal: find the killer and bring justice to Racheal. DNA evidence is part of nearly every modern day investigation, and in Racheal's case, DNA evidence was collected by our Forensic Services Unit. That DNA was analyzed by the Maryland State Police, and it was ran through the National CODIS system. DNA evidence is, this DNA evidence has come back as a match.
Subscribe.
Tied to a home invasion and an assault of a young girl in Los Angeles this past March. Unfortunately, that suspect has not been positively identified, but he did leave behind his DNA.
Me as well.
Based on the DNA evidence, we consider the individual in the video we obtained from the Los Angeles Police Department and that we are about to show you on our TV screens to be the person that murdered Racheal Morin on August 5th. So we're now going to show the video. And just so everyone's aware, this video, after this press conference, this video will be posted on our social media.
So here, and we're gonna play this. We're gonna play this a little bit more. Now, this was suspected. What was this? Suspected that this house was robbed, and you can see a woman's hands closing the door behind him. Now, if there was any particular thing that there was a sexual assault in the house, you know, maybe he threatened this person, this woman. Looks like a woman to me, and left. but they're saying that this house was supposedly robbed, which doesn't make sense to me because you can see the hands. And it's almost like he did this kiss thing to her like this, to the person, like that. You can see it. Watch. Right there. I'm sorry. He went like this. He went like this to her or this person. Yeah, very casual. Like Blondie said, it seems very like he's leaving casually. So we'll get through the rest of this press conference and then I'm going to bring up a clearer video so we can look at it and kind of speculate over it. But that's things that I saw. Like, you know, like when you're leaving and you're trying to be quiet and you say to someone like you're walking out like, oh, I love you or thank you or something like that. You know, maybe this person had other people in the home that was not supposed to know that this guy was here. I mean, I've heard of situations where the boyfriend or the husband's upstairs, the wife or the girlfriend goes downstairs, does his business with someone that they're hooking up with, and they're out the door. Or this could be a particular situation where maybe this girl has roommates. He was trying to be quiet, you know, sneak them in, sneak them out. This could be an underage girl sneaking in, sneaking out. So we don't really know. I'm only speculating here. Yeah, I mean, Brooke just said it before I even, just as I was saying it. A statutory situation, right? This could be a very young girl snuck in, parents were home, trying to be quiet. Exactly. Yeah, no shoes, holding clothes. Absolutely. So let's get through the rest of the press conference. And I love that you're all picking up on this and seeing where I'm going with this. And then we'll pull the actual clearer video and look at that. But that's things that I'm seeing right now. I mean, the door did slam, so.
All right. You want to play it one more time?
Or it could be him taunting her, yeah. But I don't know. He kind of goes like this. And she almost pushes him out, but the door does slam.
Okay.
So it could have been an attack.
When you're ready, we're going to post it on our social media. Based on our analysis of this video and witness observations, we believe the suspect to be approximately 5'9", 160 pounds, and of Hispanic descent. If you have any information about this suspect, we are asking you to please call our detectives at our tip line. And the tip line number is 410-836-7788. And we've also established a dedicated tip email address, and that email address is rmtips@harfordsheriff.org. Again, that's RM as in Racheal Morin, tips@harfordsheriff.org.
So the article that I just read, the New York Post article that I just read before, you know, at the very beginning of the show, they said this was a suspected home that was robbed, and they described him walking down the driveway. So I don't know if the report is unclear, but they don't even really say anything here about the video. They're just showing the person.
I want to make it clear that we believe the suspect acted alone, and he doesn't represent the entire Hispanic community of Harford County, who we are now partnering with to identify this suspect. I know I can speak for the sheriff when I say we are immensely proud of this community. Our community will not be defined by this tragedy. Our community is one that will work together to get the job done and bring this suspect to justice. In the meantime, in the light of this new evidence, I urge our citizens to use caution while walking on our trails and throughout our community. Be alert, walk with a friend. Don't allow yourself to be distracted by your cell phone or headphones. And finally, if you see something that makes you feel uncomfortable or that you think is suspicious, act on those instincts and call 911.
Yeah.
And lastly, we will continue our increased presence on the Mom Pod Trail. And now I'll open it up to questions.
Colonel, do you have any other details on what happened in Los Angeles, exactly where, or you know, anything about what this person did there?
So when it comes to the details about Los Angeles, that's the information that the Los Angeles Police Department has, and we were just going to refer people to the Los Angeles Police Department to get those details. Only thing I can tell you was an attack on a young girl.
Any word about
could be Blondie. We've heard that before too.
So we are not going to talk about the crime scene at this time because, as I've said in previous interviews, we don't want to talk about the crime scene or what happened at the crime scene because once we catch this person, We want to make sure we got the right person.
Good to see you.
And the only people that know what happened at that crime scene when we catch the person is us and that suspect. So we're not giving any details about that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
Again, how did you come across, what led you to this particular suspect, this person?
DNA.
So we collected DNA from our crime scene. The Maryland State Police analyzed that DNA for us, ran it through the National CODIS system, and that came back as a match
So he was in
to
CODIS.
the crime that occurred in Los Angeles, where they had recovered DNA from this person that you saw in the video.
The video that we watched, tell us about it. I mean, what Los Angeles Police released?
You gotta fucking know who this guy is then, right? I mean, if he's in CODIS and they know of a crime that he committed, they fucking gotta know his name. Am I wrong on that? Maybe they're just, like Blondie was saying, maybe they're just putting false information out there, or not false information, but misinformation to protect the investigation. They gotta fucking know who this guy is, I would think, right? Or, so Carrie's saying unidentified DNA, but if it's unidentified and they know of this person at that home, wouldn't they know? Or maybe the person that he was with in that home, that young lady, she didn't know his name. It doesn't make sense to me. But they know who the guy is what I'm trying to say. If they know who the guy is, wouldn't they know his name and his location? I mean, I could be wrong. And I'm sure that CODIS does have a bunch of unidentified DNA in it. But it seems like they're really hard stuck on this guy. And they know a particular where his whereabouts was and what crime that he committed before this. So I would think they probably would have to know who this person is. I mean, I don't know, I could be wrong.
People, what is it? Is that his home? Is it at the scene of a crime?
That is at a home, and that is the suspect leaving the scene of the crime there.
They know who it is.
Correct.
Of a little girl, is that what you said?
A young girl. So I'm going to leave it at a young girl. I don't want to talk about the family there.
All right, so it was a young girl. So I'm apparently that this guy probably snuck in the house, screwing around with her when her parents were home, or assaulted her when her parents were home, and that was her sneaking him out. Or maybe there was an assault and she was trying to get rid of him and essentially just kind of threw him out the door.
But it was a young girl in the house that got assaulted.
So maybe this was something off a dating app they hooked up off of. This guy just showed up, got his way into the house. They fooled around, or he assaulted her. And it sounds like an underage girl to me, the way that they're kind of talking about this now.
Due to the case, you have an image now of the person you think is believed to be
correct,
responsible for this. What does that do for the case?
Well, I think now it kind of leads us down the path that we believe this was a person that Racheal probably didn't know. Maybe you could say potentially a random act of violence.
I'm probably going to guess right now, and I'm sorry, I keep pausing the video because things come to my head. Just thinking about it, if she was on dating apps, maybe this guy was going around in certain areas, or he assaulted this underage girl and got out of LA and started to head to the East Coast to get far away as he could from California. And he came out to the East Coast and ended up in Maryland, maybe jumped on some dating apps again. And this is how him and Racheal came in contact. Could be, or he was just out in that particular area hiding out. I mean, we don't know right now, but I'm sure that we'll find out, soon. And I think they have a pretty good idea of who this guy is.
And we're hoping that the community now can watch that video. And we also got still pictures that we're going to be putting out, and that somebody can identify him.
Have you narrowed it down to a certain area? Do you think he could still be like somewhere on the Mont?
We don't have any clue where he could be. We don't even know if he's still in Harford County or in the state of Maryland, because obviously in March he was in California, and then here in August he was here in Maryland. So we don't know if he's still here or not.
Do you have any evidence that he was targeting people along that trail, or do you believe this was completely random?
I'd only be speculating. We do not know.
Do you think he may be armed?
Again, speculation.
You described in front of us 5'9", 160 Hispanic male. Do we have an approximate age? Or?
Oh, yeah. We believe he's in his low to mid 20s.
Do you know do you have a date for when the Los Angeles
I'm just going to put out that it was in March. The Los Angeles Police Department knows that we're doing this press conference. So if you called them, they would probably be able to give you that.
They're working with them.
A DNA hit from the
I think they know who this guy is. I mean, they're already saying that Los Angeles Police Department knows that they're doing this press conference. They've been in conversation with LAPD. I think they have a pretty good idea of who this guy is.
Side of the country, and talk about that process and how that worked.
I mean, this is the first time I've seen in a case that I've been involved in that was that far away for a DNA hit. So I wouldn't say that it's unheard of, but certainly unusual.
For the record, you don't have a name.
No, that's what we're looking for.
Like where you live or from LA, or
we don't know. We know nothing more about him other than he was in LA and committed that crime in March, and he was here in August and is the murderer. We believe to be the murderer of Racheal Morin.
To follow up on that question, you identified him through DNA evidence through this database. So there's no name associated with that?
No. There's no name associated because it's just evidence from a crime that was submitted. And his DNA on it, like being arrested and getting DNA, that none of that is in the system. However, we are working with, we have called the FBI, and we are working with some of their DNA experts in their crime lab to try to help us further analyze this DNA.
Interesting.
Without compromising the investigation, can you tell us, Racheal was found.
Correct.
And it was determined that it was a homicide.
Correct.
Was it trauma? Was she beaten? What was the nature of
all we've said so far, and I think we're going to leave it at that, is that it was a violent attack.
What's your message to the
well, again, we just got this information last night. Not that we have been able to determine yet that we don't know of any relationship or that they were known to each other before this incident. So I can't really say, but right now, no.
Obviously, this is what already has the community on the edge.
Right? Absolutely.
Now, somebody out here just murdered someone. What's your message to the community? Obviously, people are scared.
Yeah, we want our community to be vigilant. Obviously, the Mom Pa Trail has been opened since the day after Racheal was discovered. We have a very large amount of deployment on.
No, Christine, it's the channel name is LTL Podcast. My Twitter name, because I couldn't secure LTL Podcast for my Twitter name, so it's Let's Talk Live YouTube channel on Twitter. But LTL Podcast is the name of the channel, and which would be Let's Talk Live. And I think eventually, sometime down the road, when I grow this brand, this channel will just be LTL. I've thought about dropping podcast, but people aren't going to come to a channel without knowing what this is. I've thought about doing LTL Crimecast. I've thought about doing just LTL. I've thought about doing LTL, UCast. There's multiple names that I've thought of, but my vision down the road is just LTL. And I may not cover true crime here forever. There's a multitude of things that I want to do on this platform. That's why I've kept it, a pretty generic name. So
on the Mom Pa Trail, we are going to continue that deployment until.
But I don't want to pigeonhole myself, Christine. I don't want to pigeonhole myself because this may open up to something else someday. And I think it will. I really do.
This person is caught, or
exciting
we believe he's not in the area anymore. But our plan is to be vigilant for our community. Our community has been just tremendous with the support they give us and trying to figure out what's going on and calling in tips. And we're hoping that maybe even people from LA will see this interview and see that this person committed that crime there, and maybe somebody knows him. We believe and we hope that somebody who actually knows this suspect that's in the video will be able to identify him for us.
Forgive me if you said this. Are you revealing where the DNA was found?
No.
Is there fingernails?
No, we're not going to reveal that. That video is from. Yeah, that is the suspect leaving the assault that occurred in March in Los Angeles. I mean, yes. All right. Any other questions? All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And
all right, so we have that there. Let's play this quick video from Cuomo on News Nation.
This Maryland mom of 5 extraordinary lady, the commitment to her family, how she planned her life, and she loved to run on this hiking trail, and she was in a new romance. Then she disappears. The boyfriend calls the police, says, I don't know where she is. They find her the next day. Reports about how she was found suggest that this was a very violent, horrific, maybe sexual assault related murder. Is that the boyfriend? Is not the boyfriend? Everybody's saying it's the boyfriend. The boyfriend goes on social media, says, leave us alone. The police just held a press conference.
Believe me, Michelle, you're not missing anything. I'm on a few of them, and they are horrible. As a single male, I'm on a few of them, and they are horrible. So you're not missing anything, believe me.
They announced who they believe is the suspect. On your screen now is the man that police believe brutally murdered 37-year-old Racheal Morin. Police successfully ran a DNA analysis on the scene.
They're not
Got a match
showing the guy
of a breaking and entering
girl,
an assault that was committed this March in Los Angeles.
There he is, right
okay? Literally, other side of the country. Police believe the
slam the
suspect is 5'9", weighs about 160 pounds, and is of Hispanic descent. That is the man. That
You're gonna get a bunch
is
of cats.
not the boyfriend. Let's bring in former FBI agent, News Nation's law and justice contributor, Jennifer Coffindaffer.
Hey, there's
and
my
we're
buddy.
also going to get reaction
I had Jennifer
from
on the
Racheal's
show
family
before, if you didn't
through
know. And I always get shit for this. You always saying Jennifer Coffindaffer in an interview. But I did interview Jennifer Coffindaffer. I had an interview with her. If you haven't seen that, I will drop the link, and I urge everybody to go over and check out the video after this podcast. That would be really great. I'll drop that link in the chat for you all. You can, but I did do about a month ago now with Jennifer. So if you want to check that out, there's that video there. Right, let's play through. And I plan on having her back at some point.
Coffindaffer.
Great.
This is interesting. This development that the police came out want you to know they don't have a name, and what makes them so sure when they say the crime scene. What do you think they did here?
Well, I think we got obviously the DNA that was turned in, which made a lot of sense because of the time frame. You would expect a profile if there was DNA to be developed at about this time frame. What I want to know, and what wasn't addressed, is whether this is mitochondrial DNA or not, and what kind of DNA was it? Was it from a hair? Was it from semen? Was it just touch DNA?
Right.
These are all very important questions. But I do think, Chris, one of the biggest clues was the information about a rock that had blood on it. And that made me think, was this a sexual assault gone wrong where she fought and he grabbed a rock and struck her?
You had said earlier on that when it's someone who knows you and there's a homicide of this nature, a murder of this nature, there usually is not sexual assault involved because it's more of a crime of passion about whatever's going on in the relationship. And that if there were signs of sexual assault, that would lead you in the direction that the police now seem to be going. Do you trust the information from one of the witnesses? There was all this drama online about whether it was right that she was found unclothed and in a position that seems she may have been assaulted, and the rock and the blood. Do you trust that information?
Well, I trust it from the standpoint, not that he was there, because that's been disproven, but rather that his stepdaughter would seem told him the information. And so it's secondhand information that he's repeating. But what's interesting about it is the detail. And it made a lot of sense in terms of what we knew from the investigation. Also, Chris, the minute they started ramping up, getting surveillance cameras, buying a $20,000 SUV, all of these patrols, of course, it certainly gave pause that this could be a random.
You know, Blondie brings up a good point. She says, how does anyone think they can get away with murder anymore? It's a great point. And the thing is that, you know, the thing that I think about when I think about these cases and I think about these victims is or even just the person that does it, like, do you realize your life is going to change forever? Not only your life, but the victim's life as well, too. It's going to change forever because that victim may or may not be here for the rest of their life, and your life is going to completely change. And that you got so either obsessively compulsive that you had to do this because there's a compulsion inside you that makes you do this, or you got so mad in that particular situation that you did this particular, heinous act. I mean, your life is going to change forever. Is it worth sitting in a 6x9 cell for the rest of your life? Or being executed, if there's the death penalty. It's strange, that piece of their brain does not connect in that very moment. That rational aspect in that very moment. And I always look at things like that too. And if I can get, a little bit dark here, I look at things like suicide. Now, my brother killed himself, and my brain, or just my brain doesn't connect that way. And I always wonder, like, what was going on in his brain that he felt he got to the absolute lowest point in his life, that there was no help for him. And that's further from the truth. There was, hundreds of people around him to support him. There was medical attention that he could have got, mental health. Uh, the answers were there, but he saw in that situation that it was so low that there was no particular way out. I've just never been there, and I hope I never get to that point in my life. But and I hope none of you ever get to that point in your life. But it's just it's weird how the mind works. It's very strange. But I digress.
One more question, then I want to go to Mr. Murtha about how the family feels about this information.
Yeah, you're right, Brooke.
Breaking and entering, very different crime than what we're seeing here.
I'm
Or
not
am I
going to meet my
missing
future
something?
wife at a grocery store. I can promise
Well,
you that.
it's different in a sense, but in
I
that
think I'm going to be
case,
single
it was a
forever.
young woman, we're told, that was alone. And so it seems to me that this predator, actually look for victims that are easy to victimize, that are alone. And so it seems that in that way, this MO was similar.
Mr. Murtha, thank you for joining us tonight. What was the family's reaction to the press conference?
I have a new reaction to
Well,
that
Chris,
video.
thank you for allowing me to appear on behalf of the family. And they are
That door is
encouraged by the
slamming.
fact that
He's
there is
hightailing pretty
information
quick.
out there that is being publicized
That's okay,
nationally. In
Marty.
light of the
Thank you. I
fact
appreciate
that
you.
this person has contacts with Los Angeles, they thought it was really important for them to have a voice that projects that information nationally, because someone somewhere knows this person, and they believe that by getting out and asking people just to help and to be available, if someone knows that individual, to participate in solving this terrible crime.
Hey, thank you for watching.
Hey, no problem, Cuomo. All right, let's pull up the Facebook post here with the looping video. We'll take a little bit look at this before we end up and we wrap up tonight. So let's take a look here. So this is the looping video here. Yeah, I mean, maybe he's in the gym. Some people are just blessed with that particular type of body type. But I'm noticing the door slamming. So that's the first thing I notice. Oh, I thought it was going to keep looping. Go back, damn it. Let's take a look. Okay, that's what I want to see. Let's see. That little, it's a kiss. Is it a kiss? No, it's something from the chest. Kind of like, hey, he's got a mustache. And she slams the door. So maybe this is an unwanted, at this point, encounter. That's that hand motion from the chest I said. Kind of like, hey, I'm sorry. Or, I mean, I don't know. I wish there was audio. And you can see the hands there. There's the two hands. You can see the two hands there. right here. Hand and a hand. There's another hand there. Door slams. So this could very well be an assault. Again, I'm only speculating by the motions that I'm seeing. That's that weird motion from the chest. It's right there. See it? You see what I'm seeing, right? Yeah, I mean, this could be an assault. You know, maybe this was upstairs at the house. You know, getting out quick. Hey, I'm sorry. You know, please don't say anything. Don't call. You know, something like that. And then you see the door slamming. Bam. I think this is like a hookup. I think this was like a hookup. Right? I think it was like a hookup off a dating app. She chased him out. Yeah. This was a get out of the house. Seems like he was like, hey, you know, maybe like, let me explain, or hey, I'm sorry. Like he didn't want to leave, and she was kind of pushing him out. Yeah, she threw his crap at him. Seems it, yeah. Good catch, Blondie. Because he's got his, looks like a sweatshirt, a shirt, probably his shoes in his. Yeah, this is, she got him out of there. Something happened that she wasn't liking. Boom, door slams. See that? Let's play it again. You know, like, hey, okay, you know, something like that, maybe. Okay. Hey, please, I'm sorry. You know, maybe he said, hey, I'm sorry. Do you have a link to the police report, Shannon? I'd love to see it. I'm sorry. Again, I'm day 2 on this case. No need to yell. We're day 2. If you want to send the link, you can post it in the chat, or you can email it to me at letstalklivepodcast@gmail.com. I'll gladly bring up the police report. Again, we're just jumping in tonight, doing a little reporting. I apologize. So if you have the report, we'd love to see it. Drop it in the chat. Drop a link. Have you read the report? If you've read the report, we would love to see it. I'll pull it up. I'll give you a second. Yes, it's on the Twitter website. Okay, what Twitter website? Do you have the link for the Twitter? Can someone get the link and we'll pull it up? I'd appreciate it. No problem. Appreciate you. Yeah, again, you know, I'm about 2 days caught up on this case. You know, I work, if you're new here, Shannon, I work like 60 hours a week, and then I try to do it. Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that. We'll pull it up. Harlot says, how did you see the police report when they didn't give a date or location other than March in Los Angeles? Yeah. And then Jessica says, I haven't seen either. Yeah, this could be a false police report, Shannon. They're not releasing much of the detail. So, but yeah, if you have the link, we'll pull it up. We'll take a look at it. And I'll chill here for a second. Yeah, again, look, I just misconstrued too. I thought Shannon was yelling at me, and she wasn't. She said I was just, you know, trying to help. So let's play this again. I think that's a, I'm sorry, you know, like, hey, I'm sorry, right? Could I be wrong? Am I right? What do you all think? Hey, I'm sorry. And then it's just like, get out. She's like, get out. And that's it. You know, hey, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Hey, I'm sorry. Looks like he has something on his side too. Let's see. Or keys coming out of his pocket. Oh, it's like his phone. It looks like the, you know, when your flashlight's on your phone like this. You know, looks like that in his pocket. Or his screen could be lit up. I wonder if he was taking video or something like that. Let's see. See it? Right there. Boom. Looks like the flashlight's on in his phone. I don't know. Fist bump. Looks like kind of like, hey, I'm sorry. Could be, hey. You see the light on right here? Maybe on the phone. Right there. See? Watch his pocket. You can see it. Right there. See it? The flashlight was on. Holly Reza says, stop harassing me, YouTube. 5-month membership. Thanks for subscribing the last 5 months. I appreciate you. But do you see the let me know. Type a 1 in the chat if you see either the flashlight or the cell phone screen in the pocket. It looks to me like the flashlight was on, like he was grabbing his like Blondie was saying, he grabbed his shit quickly and got out of there. I mean, I've done that a million times too, when I picked up my phone quick and you hit that screen and that your flashlight pops on and you're like, fuck. He does have a mustache. Yeah. Did that link come up to the police report yet? Yeah, I see it too. Ready? Watch this. Boom. Right there. See it? The flashlight's on. Yeah, I think he was accepted in that home, but we don't know what happened behind that closed door. There could be Ollie, thank you so much for the gifted memberships. 5 new memberships have gone out. If you haven't gone down, you can check out my members only content on my landing page. She can't post a link because she isn't a mod, so she has to email it to you or something. Got it. Yeah, if you want to email me the link, I'll check. Let's Talk Live Podcast at gmail.com. I don't see anything. Can any of my mods find the police report? The LA police report? Yeah, it looks like his flashlight from his phone. I would assume it's the cell phone. Let's take a look again. Right there. He kind of stumbles off the stairs too. He misses that first step. Boom. He's got shoes on. His shoes are on. Looks like Yeezys. He's definitely wearing Yeezys. Those are Yeezys. I know Yeezys. Right. Those are Yeezys. Yeah, she slammed the door. Damn, you can almost see his face there when he turns, but yeah, Brooke says it looks like a flashlight. Huh. Brian, that drip detective. Yeah, exactly. Let me see. It's definitely his phone. He's a right-handed probably, and his hand looked like it almost went for it because it felt like it was falling out of balance. Yeah, let's take a look back again. Let's go back. Let's go back to the beginning. Yeah, let's see. Hang on a second. I got someone texting me. Harlot says there's no details to find the report with. I don't get how anyone could have it. A home invasion with an assault on a young girl in March in Los Angeles. There's probably thousands. Well, that's what I said. A lot of this stuff, when you see things like this, could be, a lot of bad misinformation that's out there. Blondie says, or had hand like that because he lost his balance coming off that first hot step. Ollie says, I'm not sure what you're seeing. That looks like, it looks like the reflection flare from something in his hand, not a light source. Not sure it's helpful either way, though. Yeah, I don't know. To me, it looks like this, Ollie. Like when you come out, like when you've grabbed, I don't know if you have an iPhone, but when you grab your iPhone, I've done it before too. You hit your flashlight and it looks like it's in his pocket, maybe this way. And that's the light you're seeing. Or it could be car keys getting a reflection. But to me, it looks like, definitely looks like the flashlight on a phone. Right there. See it? Right there. Boom. That's a flashlight, dude. That's the flashlight on your phone. It got turned on like that. You can see it right there too. Boom. Right there. I don't know if I can zoom in. No, it won't let me zoom in. Ollie says, he says, yeah, that light would not look like that on a camera. The flare of light source should be massive on a ring type camera. Blondie says, or it's his gym tag on his keys. Could be. Harlot says, looks like the screen to me, but I agree it's a phone. Or it could be the HID screen illuminating, wormholing hard. So from this alleged crime scene, they also have this guy's DNA. Did I understand that? So yes, the video that you're seeing here was from they're claiming an assault. Well, one article we're reading was this was a robbery, and then another report is saying that it was an assault, and they got DNA at this crime scene out in Los Angeles in March. Now, this DNA was entered into CODIS, and when they collected DNA from Racheal Morin's attack or murder and put that into CODIS, these two DNAs matched, but they're saying that they don't know who this guy is. I have a strong suspicion they know who this guy is, what his name is, and I think they're keeping that close to their vest in the investigation. And I have oh, that's great too. Ollie says the joggers could be a strip on the pocket of the joggers. That's a great point too, Ollie. But I think that they know who this guy is and they're keeping close to the vest. Let's see. Rising's checking in. She says, hey, Brooklyn, how's the Ann Taylor shirts coming along? Great seeing you here. Thank you so much for hanging out. Appreciate you. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense too, Ollie. I mean, we're wormholing here hard. I don't know, dude. To me, it just looks like a light, bro. I'm sorry. That's a hard light. Because even if you look here, all right. Now I'm gonna really get fucking technical. If you look here in the back, and I don't know if you can see my pointer, but I hope you all can. Just even seeing that light in the window, and you can see the light back here and all in through this, wooded area here, these trees. I don't know, man. It looks like a light to me. I wonder if he was like recording it. Whatever was going on, That's like a bro. Somebody knows exactly who that is. Yeah, I mean, I think they know who it is. So Harlot says the cop at the presser said assault and home invasion, but he didn't say anything about robbery that I remember. Let me pull up the New York Post article that I just read earlier because I know you got into the room late, and I could be wrong. Again, I tend to forget things too at my old age. So let me go back and try to find that article. Where was I? Here, let's see. I think it was this one, Harlot. Hang on. But hey, listen, I appreciate everybody's participation in the stream tonight. It's been a really, I want to say like fun because of the subject matter, but I think it's been really interactive. And I love when you all get very interactive in the chat and give me feedback. This has been really great. Okay, if I hate this site. I like their reporting. I just hate their site because they have so many pop-ups. It said here, Police discovered the mother's body in his park. A man who claimed his stepdaughter found a body naked just 4 days before. Let's see. Where was it? Shortly after the report. Let's go back up. Where was it? Okay, police released video of a shirtless suspect described as a Hispanic male, about 5'9", 160 pounds, as he closes the front door and walks down the steps of an LA home he's suspected of robbing. Oh, great, that pop-up. Mother of God. Right here, suspected of robbing. See, harlot? Right here. Strange, right? Right? It's like mixed reports going on. Yeah, that's a good point too. Sharon says probably used his phone light to find the clothes and shoes inside. Could be. Suspected of robbing. Right? Interesting. So there's like mixed reports going on. Listen, if you all like the stream, if you could just smash that like button down there, we're going to try to get there. I get 75 people in here. Maybe we'll get to 75 likes. That would be great. And then maybe we can get to 100 on replay. But that's interesting though. Suspected of robbing. And then I think the police report or the report that came out during the presser was it was an assault, right? Let's see this. Okay, so the poster for this individual, and whoops, I just shared the wrong screen. The poster for this individual says, let's see. Oh shit, I'm not gonna be able to. Let's see. It says this individual is believed to have ties to the Los Angeles area and may be involved in violent crimes in other states. I think they know who this guy is, and they're just not putting that out there yet. Yeah, me too. It's strange. Very mixed reports right now at the activity of this particular individual. Definitely got a mustache. So it's interesting. Very, very, very interesting. I don't know. We'll just have to see. We'll have to see what. Let's see. I want to hear this again. Let's see.
Over 300 community tips.
Let's hear this again.
That flooded our inboxes and emails. Her death has grabbed local, state, national, and international headlines. Everyone with the same goal: find the killer and bring justice to Racheal. DNA evidence is part of nearly every modern-day investigation, and in Racheal's case, DNA evidence was collected by our forensic services unit. That DNA was analyzed by the Maryland State Police, and it was ran through the National CODIS system. This DNA evidence has come back as a match, tied to a home invasion and an assault of a young girl in Los Angeles this past March.
So they're saying assault of a young girl. So suspected of robbing. Now it's an assault. I'm probably going to go on the assault. I think that's what happened in that home, that there was an SA assault. It was a young girl, which means it was an underage girl. And I'm going to go on that. Let's rewind and just hear the chief again, or the colonel. I think he's a colonel.
Nearly every modern day investigation, and in Racheal's case, DNA.
So, Caddy, it was said robbery. It was in a New York Post article. It said suspected of robbery. Yeah.
DNA evidence was collected by our forensic services unit. That DNA was analyzed by the Maryland State Police, and it was ran through the National CODIS system. DNA evidence is, this DNA evidence has come back as a match tied to a home invasion and an assault of a young girl in Los Angeles this past March.
Okay, so I'm going to go with that because that's the most updated presser, and I'm sure that he said that they're working with the Los Angeles Police Department. They're working with the FBI now. So I'm going to go on. This is probably the most current updated information that we have. But why no pictures of the suspect's face? Because the only video they have of him leaving, and he just doesn't show his face. So, and like Blondie said, they're definitely keeping their cards close to the chest. I think they know who this guy is, and I don't think that they want to put it out there so he runs, because he probably has, maybe he has ties to the border to be able to get over to the border to escape, and that would be tragic because if he slips through, that's it. He's gone. They're never going to find him, at least not in the imminent future. It would be probably a long time away. So, yeah, I agree. Maybe this is someone that has a history of running, or maybe this is someone that is not supposed to be legally here in this country, and they know of this person. And has the ability to get back and forth through the border. So, I don't know. Again, I'm only assuming. I'm just assuming at this point, just throwing some ideas out there. So, but yeah, I'm going to probably go on that information. We'll back up one more time and hear it.
And it was ran through National CODIS system. DNA evidence is, this DNA evidence has come back as a match tied to a home invasion and an assault of a young girl in Los Angeles this past March.
Okay. So I'm going to go with that. I think that's the most updated information that we have so far in this case. I probably see this person hopefully being picked up in the next 24 to 48 hours. There may be some breaking news tomorrow, but we'll keep an eye on it. And we're praying for Racheal and her family and her community. This is an awful thing. I'm sure it's completely shaken this community to the core, these families to the core. And again, we'll keep continuing to keep up on this. That's all the information we have right now. And, I'll keep you all posted. Tomorrow is a very important day in the Bryan Kohberger case. So I'm sure that I'm going to be doing a Kohberger stream tomorrow. I'll put some material together. We'll see what happens in the hearing, and hopefully we get some video or audio in that hearing that's supposed to be taking place tomorrow. But we will see. God, it looks like I'm bruised, but I am not bruised right here. That's weird. Camera angles. Okay, well, it's getting late. It's about 11:30 here. No, it's real time. I've actually been losing subscribers. There's people that is unsubscribing to my family on my channel. I had over 8450, and it's funny. I think people are messing with me. Well, I'm actually back at 8450, so we can update it. Let's do a live update. I was there, and then I don't know, people unsubscribe, and I don't know. My channel's in a huge down spell right now, and no one's watching anything on my channel. I don't even know if people are getting notifications. It's all good. It comes in waves. You go up, you go down. So 8450. Let's get this to 10K as soon as we can. Because I'm dying to get to 10K. Okay. Well, it's getting late. It's about 11:30 here on the East Coast. I will be back tomorrow night at some point to report on the Bryan Kohberger case. I think I'm going to get back to doing some live streaming again. But if you're first time over here, go over to my homepage, check out all my extra live streams that are over there. If you're a member and you just became a member, with the grace of Ali, you have a free month to enjoy on that. Go down to my homepage, scroll all the way down, and you can see all my members only content down there. I don't know. That's it. I appreciate all the new people that I saw tonight in the chat. Thank you so much. Angela LD said she subscribed 6 minutes ago. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And I don't know. We're probably going to wrap this puppy up. And you all know how to get in touch with me. I'll be up for a little while. So if you want to email me, you can. Let's Talk Live Podcast, gmail.com. Or you can find me on Twitter at Let's Talk Live YTC. Or I'm on Facebook at LTL Podcast. Or if you text me, you can text me. Trying to think of what else. Yeah. Reach out. Have a conversation. I also can be found on IG as well. It's ltl.podcast. I got to get that up and running, but you can check that out. Subscribe. Ali Reza coming through with another 5 members. We have some brand new members. Thank you, Ali. That was very nice of you to do that. I appreciate you, man. That's great. Thank you. We have a great chat over here. We have really, really nice people. We need to get these numbers up because I'm at rookie numbers again. This 71 and 50 streams. We're going to get this back to 300, 400, 500 people. But it's all, I tell you, I always say this though, the smaller streams are always the funnest because we just can open up a lot more and the chat goes slower. And Holly says, if you're ringing that bell, I expect some cold cuts and mustard. Dude, if we ever meet, I'm going to take you out to a nice steak dinner. You deserve that, dude. Always a good dude, man. Oh, so that's it. We're going to wrap this puppy up. If anybody needs to get in touch with me, you know how to do that. I'll be back tomorrow night at some point. Hope to see you all there. Be well, sleep well. Again, episode 58 in the bag. This is LTL Podcast. You all have a good night. Thank you so much. Bye.